Hello everyone, welcome to this training video. My name is Jessica and I am going to go through a training today with you for a tax debt call. Okay, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to make sure that you succeed passing this call if you follow this training. Take notes, grab a pen and paper, pause this if you need to get what you need, because there is very critical information in this training. I can't stress that enough. Okay. So what we're going to do is cover what we're going to call about, and we're going to break down this call step by step, okay? So we got different points of training to cover. Now, what we're calling about is if you owe more than $10,000 back to the IRS, okay, you can give them a call and they can lower or eliminate that debt. Now, here are the points of training that we're covering. The first thing is preparing for your call. Now, as agents, you really need to pay attention to this, because we have countless agents that overlook this, thinking that they understand and they don't need it. Okay, simple fact is, this is something that we have done trial and error, proven fact, it works. Okay, you're going to get a pen and paper and you're going to find questions you're going to ask about tax debt, and you're going to write down your questions. You're going to write down the scenario you're going to be calling in about. You must have a scenario and everything mapped out before you make the call, especially on tax debt. I cannot stress that enough. You need to know your story, you need to know what you're calling about, and you need to know your stuff. Okay? Common reasons for tax debt that we found are successful are: you can call about going from a W-2 position to a 1099, where you're working at home and you're working for yourself. This is really successful because a lot of tax problems do come from going to a 1099. Somebody trying to do their own taxes. A lot of people get frustrated, get confused. Maybe they try to write off or deduct things that they shouldn't have. It causes a problem if they're not careful. Okay? Or maybe doing your own taxes until recently and you missed paying taxes a few years. Let's be realistic, you guys. If you owe over $10,000 in debt, it's not because you owe 1 year taxes. It's not because you just missed, a spot on your form and claimed one child as a dependent that you shouldn't have. There's bigger issues. Okay? Maybe you had life changes where you did find on your taxes that you filed for multiple years not eligible, claiming dependents. Now, multiple years of it as a mistake, that could happen. Okay, and then finally they caught up with it and they decided, oh, you owe. Okay, but W-2 position to a 1099 is very successful. I do know from experience. I have myself used that on the phone. Now, you need to know what you're calling about before you make the call. Okay, as far as the scenario, you need to note specific details for your problem. Any side notes you want to remind yourself on the phone of when it comes to your story. Okay, never call in and just say, oh, I owe over $10,000 in IRS debt. You will be an automatic fail, because they are going to have you off the phone in less than a minute. There is no sugarcoating it. There's no way to professionally put it other than that. Okay, you need to have a specific, realistic number that you know the facts on this number. If somebody owes the IRS, you know what you owe, you know why you owe it at this point in time. When you would be calling somebody, you know the facts. Okay, because they're going to be asking you questions. All right, so some examples could be 11,200, 10,500. You need to have a number. Okay, now don't tell them that you have $19,000 in debt and you just don't even know what to tell them to back it up. Okay, obviously that's going to shoot you out of the water too. Okay, they are trained professionals. They're CPAs. They have experience. Many of them that you talk to probably done it for 30 years. So they're going to know if you're giving a story that's not realistic. Okay, I can't stress that enough. So when it comes to fitting the profile to make this call, you definitely need to know what you're calling about. So number 3, we want to know what type of service this is, okay? This is really going to help you approach the call, is knowing the type of service it is. So when you call in, you're calling for legal representation to step in and assist you for a large amount of tax debt. The service is going to help you make sure that you no longer have to deal with the IRS. So this process, if you qualify for a case, will negotiate. They find programs. A lot of times there's a law firm involved in who you're calling. They lower the payments to the IRS and help resolve the matter. They might come up with plans. They might have programs if you're in a hardship. Okay, they can negotiate and move numbers with the IRS normally that the everyday person they can do, but are usually unaware of the steps to take because the IRS is so intimidating. Okay, you're calling in because you owe the IRS and you know that you're unable to tackle the amount of debt or payments they wish to have. Now, detail is everything on number 4 when it comes to this call. And this is really key, you guys. You're going to be asked specific questions on your problem so they understand the situation. They're not going to be able to give you anything over the phone without knowing what you're calling about and what your problem is. So you need to know and be prepared for this. Common problems can be getting certified letters and being asked about this. They'll ask you if you've gotten certified letters, or you can just commonly, mention, well, I got certified letters. I actually threw one away because I got a little nervous. I got panicked because they mailed me, and now I'm worried because I threw it away. I don't know if I should have kept it. That sort of thing, okay? You may be asked of what contact you have had with the IRS so far. Your answer should not be none, you guys. Okay, at this point, you should have already had certified letters. You would have already had, different notification. Now, you guys, don't try to say that the IRS called you on the phone, okay? For anybody that has any common knowledge about the IRS, they don't handle things over the phone for security purposes. You're looking at certified letters, you're looking at different mailed documents that state that you owe the IRS, and they handle everything through mail and fax. You're not going to find a representative on the IRS that's going to handle your full detailed situation front to back over the phone for security purposes, okay? You're going to need to know details on this stuff. What you found wrong with your taxes and what you were advised by the IRS. Did they tell you that they're looking into garnishing wages? Did they tell you that they're in the process of maybe doing a payment arrangement, but you just can't afford it? What standing point are you at? That is the kind of information that they're going to ask you, okay? You'll need to know any negotiations you'll say you've had with the IRS so far. Maybe the IRS is taking wages from your income already due to being a 1099. You could ask them, okay, I'm a 1099 employee. I work for myself and my income varies. Can they really do this? Can they take my wages? Okay, maybe you've had someone contact your work. You need to be well prepared with your reasoning for calling. Do not call this number without this planned out. You need to map it out. Okay? Be thorough, especially on this call. Don't expect success passing this call if you only have 2 questions written down to call it a day. Okay? You're not going to do it. You're not going to pass. You're not going to get through it. You need to be prepared with 3 to 4 questions total to ask that agent on the phone. Just because our summary requirements say 2 to 3 questions, we just expect that as a minimum baseline for agents to produce on a call. We're looking for more substance than that on calls, you guys, and our top callers will go the extra step and include 3 to 4 questions they prefer for agents. This is also when you need to take a pen and paper and you need to write down the answers that the agent gives you. Because in your response for your summary, you will be asked to give what the agent told you as an answer to your questions, okay? So It's not enough to just say, well, I asked them about how garnishing my wages could be stopped, or I asked them how this could happen, or what the whole process of their system was, and then you get no response. They have to have that full dialogue between the agent and you to fully have a good picture as a client on what happened on that call. Okay? If you do not understand this type of call and you've never dealt with any tax debt, a lot of people have not. Okay, this is not a common problem that everybody deals with. So if this is the case, you really need to look at Google. You need to Google about tax debt. You need to Google about questions you can ask to get on help with tax debt. The more prepared you are with some knowledge, the better you're going to do on this call. Okay? Now, there's a lot of different questions you can Google and find on tax debt that's going to help you through this call. But for the sake of training, I do offer some here that you're more than happy to use to get you started, or it's at least going to get your mind on the right mindset of where your mind needs to be going when talking to these people. All right, one question you can have is, how long does the process normally take to get help if you do qualify? Now, typically they're going to say that this depends on the person, but they normally give a general answer, whether it would be 6 months. It all depends on what they tell you. If I receive a 1099 for employment, is it really true that they can garnish all my wages? That's a really good question. Actually, the fact I found out from personally doing the call myself, yes, it is true. If you are a 1099 position, they do have the power to garnish 100% of the wages, where if it's a W-2 job, they can only do a percentage. But that is something that you can ask and you can get the answer from them. If I qualify to where you can help me, do I have to still talk to the IRS? Okay, that's a good question. Do you still have to talk to the IRS? Do you still have to, respond to the mail that came? Or are they going to totally take the reins and take over the situation? Do I need to worry about my savings and checking accounts right now? How much help is it available, and how much is it going to cost me up front out of pocket? Can I schedule payments on the day I choose? How does the process actually work? Do I need to show up to a local office anywhere, or is this done online or by phone with you? Okay, these are things that you can ask. Now, these are just a taste of the kind of questions you can come up with. Feel free to Google, try to come up with your own. That's all fine. The key to this training, though, is to get you some questions to get your mind working and the mindset that you need to be in when you call about something like this. It's a very sensitive topic. It's something very specific, so you need to have a lot of detail. You need to know what your story is. You need to know what needs to be covered, okay? And as I said, you can't just say that you owe over $10,000 in debt. You need to have an exact amount, because if you actually owe the IRS, they will definitely tell you to the exact penny what you owe. Okay? So these are things that you need to keep in mind. Now, if this training went fast, please rewatch this video. Rewind, pause, take notes, do whatever is necessary so you understand all of this information. Because once you're done with this video with me, what you're going to do is you're going to be asked questions that you're going to submit answers to. Depending on your answers and how you present, how you will handle this call, will determine whether or not you get a phone number. Okay? We're going to know if you watch the training by the answer of your questions. If you do not answer fully on these questions and actually put thought into them, you will not get a phone number. Okay? Simple as that. The ones of you that have watched the training, you can put together your answers to the question and submit. It will go to our primary office, and they will work very hard to promptly get you the number and the call information you need to complete this call. Okay? That will be the process for you as a hired agent. Now, if you're seeing this call as a nesting call, you are watching this training, you will not be required to fill out a form. However, I do recommend you watching it a second time and making notes, for the fact that after you're done with this video, your next step is going to be, as a new hire, following the steps that a team lead provided to you with a phone number and information to make the phone call. Okay? You're not going to have a form to fill out, but you want to definitely make sure you capture this information, because this is your nesting call to make sure that you're hired. All right, so please take note of this training. Make sure that you understand. If you have questions, please contact the team lead, okay? But we need to make sure that you understand how to approach this call, how to approach these agents, how to go about getting the information you need so we can give the clients the best result possible when it comes to evaluating how their agents are doing on the phone. Okay? But we got to get you through the call. That's the key. Because if you call in and you do not know your stuff, you will be off the phone in less than a minute. They are very professional. They know their stuff. They know their numbers. This is a highly trained skill that they've went to school for. So you not knowing your job can be a problem. Okay? So hopefully this training really gave you a lot more insight on what you're going to be calling about, things to keep in mind, how to approach this call. And I'm really excited because I really feel that after you watch this training, you guys are going to do amazing on quality. I'm really excited to see the quality reviews coming back, that you are going to do awesome for our clients, making sure they get some really sound feedback on how these agents are doing, how they handled you as a customer, how they reacted when you were panicky because you owed the IRS. It's a very tense situation. You're not going to call in with bubbles and lollipops and saying, oh, I owe the IRS. That is a very stressful situation. A lot of people think they're at the end of their rope and at the wit's end when it comes to calling somebody. This is the last place somebody wants to call, you guys. Please, take that into consideration when you call. Okay? But you guys are going to rock it. You guys are going to do amazing. All I say is please just follow the training. I'm training you on things that we know work, things that you can do to prepare to where you know what you're doing. Okay? But everyone, thank you so much for training with me. You guys are wonderful. You're going to do great. Just breathe. Make sure that you put some thought into this call and you're going to do fine. And I look forward to training with you again.